We go southwest through here. We cut the journey in half.
What, through the forest?
All right, Dominic. I want you to watch your posture, okay?
What? I have scoliosis, you piece of shit. I have had no. Listen to me. I had surgery to correct the curve, but only halfway up. There's a steel rod attached to my spine, but it's only halfway. You have to meet me halfway. I think that's what that means. Okay.
So at the end of your spine, is that your ass?
The bottom. But every time we do this, the cameras don't catch it. You just make fun of my disability. You kick me.
I'm not using it. I won't be using this. We will block it.
Yeah, don't use this. All right. Welcome to #NoFilter. Today, okay, I'm Dom. Do we need to? I'm Dom. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm Josh.
And we're reviewing The Ritual. It's a modest film of a paltry $1 million budget, and it's about these 4 or 5 friends who are trying to decide where to go for a trip. Don't remember if there was an occasion. Was it a birthday, or they just...
It started out like a birthday, but then very quickly one of the guys is slit by a random act of violence.
Right. Well, but they didn't change their plans. It was 6 months later that they went. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, anyway, they go somewhere. They're trying to decide, should we go to the Mekong Delta? Should we go to Las Vegas? Should we go to the fucking Mars? No. They end up going to Sweden. They go hiking in Sweden. And you go. My brain just stops like that. You go. No, I got it from here. I got it. Ha! They go hiking in Sweden. And what they don't know is that in this forest that they come upon, there is a monster. This is my wheelhouse. I love monsters, and there's a really good one here. But I'll pass the ball to you. What are your general spoiler-free thoughts on The Ritual?
I thought it was filmed amazingly beautifully. I didn't know it was only $1 million. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this film, in my opinion, was better than our just most recent review, Annihilation. It was better. No?
Okay, you're talking about the technical side of things.
Well, the cinematography was better.
That's what I mean. They used their money. Better than Annihilation.
They definitely utilized their money better. Yeah.
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 I wouldn't say it's a better film. Well, that's just a matter of opinion anyway.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, I see what you're saying. 1 million compared to 40 million.
They totally fucked Annihilation up.
Yeah, it looked good. It looked like a movie. It had
Prometheus quality cinematic looks to it. The landscapes. I thought the scouting of the locations was phenomenal. We don't see a lot of northern Sweden in films. And we don't see northern Sweden when it's not covered in snow.
Was it shot in northern Sweden?
I can only imagine so. I don't know.
You'd think that I would look that up before starting the review, but I didn't. And neither did you. But that's okay. That's okay. No, it looks good. That's the point. It looks like northern Sweden. We bought it. Mm-hmm. So there you go. And the acting was fine. I thought it was peculiar to go with a British cast.
It was a British made film.
It was, yes, it was. I knew that much, so I don't know why I said that. But the acting was good, though. That's my point. The
It was
acting was
done really
good.
well, and I didn't know any of the people. The lead character, I've seen him in something before, but
One of the cast members was in Prometheus.
oh, he was.
Yeah, and another one was in AVP. The
That's
first one.
probably why it looked and felt that way. I bet some of the crew that were behind the scenes were from those films too.
It's possible.
It had that eerie look. Like the cinematography really played the atmosphere up. Even though they were just going on a hike, they could have been on the Appalachian Trail for all we knew. But they played it up very eerily, and you just kind of knew some shit was about to go down.
Yeah, it was extremely atmospheric. There was a ton of mist and fog, and I love that shit. I'll go ahead and throw in a complaint. It was a little too much sleepy build-up. To me, the pacing was off. Pacing is a big deal to me. I just thought it was too slow.
Well, I got up and walked away for like 20 minutes, and I came back and I didn't really miss anything.
How do you know?
Because I went back and checked.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay. But yeah, that's what I mean. You could go away for 20 minutes and not miss
the
too
right
much.
20 minutes. You don't want
Yeah. Well, in that first half, you know, I mean, once it settles into a groove, up to about the 50-minute mark.
The moment they're in the woods, you better be hanging on.
Yeah, well, even before that a little bit. I mean, I'd say 45, 50 minutes.
From the moment
You
he
know.
hurts himself.
You don't mean the very beginning.
No. I mean the knee.
Okay.
When the guy hurt his knee.
Okay. All right. Well, okay, I would basically recommend it. You would probably recommend it, correct?
The film? Oh yeah, for
Okay.
sure. I think it's it was a horror film. It didn't have a sci-fi aspect to it, but for some reason it felt sci-fi. It did. I don't know, we were kind of diving into folklore and mysterious, creatures from previous, centuries on Earth.
Well, that doesn't mean science fiction. I
But
mean,
it felt a little bit that way. It was like walking into the Iliad, or
the Iliad. Oh.
the Iliad,
Well, you
or
should.
Homer's Great Odyssey.
Homer wrote the Iliad.
Oh, okay.
Or no, wait, the Odyssey. See, you're making me look stupid.
Nice. That's hard to do. He's a genius.
Oh my God, no. But see, it's a good time to mention, and we may have mentioned this before in another review. I don't know. We've done so many of these, but
Five.
Okay, but Josh is not a huge horror fan,
He's
and
turning me on them, though.
I'm trying. I'm trying to teach him the ways. But he's more of a sci-fi fan, I think, right?
Absolutely.
Sci-fi fantasy. I think that's why you really gravitated to Annihilation. Although you've already said you prefer this one.
Nylia Portman.
Annihilation. Uh-oh. So yeah, that's the premise here. But I don't see much sci-fi in The Ritual. But opinions, we all have opinions.
Absolutely.
So let's get into some spoilers. I liked the ending quite a bit, actually. I liked the ending. Explain your.
The monster was very vicious and powerful, and at the end, spoiler. At the end, one whack of a hatchet, and he's like, and he like runs away. He, she, whatever. It's like a bisexual demon.
I don't think bisexual isn't quite the word you were looking for there.
It was a giant moose with like giant moose cock, and then it like turns and reveals itself, and it's like got titties and it's female.
What the fuck? Okay, it had hands out of its face.
With breasts around its eyes. It had big, like, feminine breasts right there, like a woman's torso.
Not a human woman.
Well, not anymore. It looked like it was made of women and men. It was like made of different people.
Oh my God.
And animals. It was like 6 or 7 different creatures all wrapped up into one creature.
It was a Jotun.
A Jotun?
A Jotun, yes.
Explain what a Jotun is to the audience.
A Jotun is like a giant or a troll from Odinist, what do you call it? Folk. Well, yeah, Odinist mythology. It's a mythic beast, and these people that worship it in the middle of a Swedish forest in the middle of fucking fuck all Sweden, they are basically worshiping it so that it doesn't kill them, and they are offering up blood sacrifices.
Yeah.
I guess they all stay in that cabin, I guess.
Yeah, there were several cabins, I realized. There was like 2 or 3. It wasn't just one. But it wasn't that they stayed, it was as if they were trapped there. Because there were all these people who had come with them, and the woman, before she was murdered, said that, one person per group of people who get trapped here is allowed to live, but you have to bow to the she-demon beast moose. And you better bow or else. And then this guy's like, fuck that, I'm not bowing. And he ended up bowing anyways, but it was a fake bow before he slashed the face of the animal.
Okay, a couple of things. You keep attributing feminine qualities to this beast. Maybe I need to see another image of it, and I'll look at it later, but
no, it had feminine qualities to it. It did, because at the end when the dorky guy who hurt his meniscus, that specific, was tied to the post, he saw his wife come out of the woods. And it was not his wife, it was the moose beast woman. And when it got closer, you could see into the eyes of the beast. Right. And it had like a woman's eyes, and it had a woman's arms and hands. They were female hands, dude.
Were they sweet, like sweet eyes, beautiful eyes?
No, they were evil demon eyes, dude. It was a fucking beast.
Okay. No, I'm just trying to make sure you didn't want to fuck it, because the way you're describing it, it's like it's Natalie Portman.
It was like looking into a tree's, like a hole in a tree, like where an owl would live, and it was like an owl was inside a tree looking back at you. Only when it turned to the side, it had like a moose's body, but it had the arms of a woman and the chest plate of a woman. But then it had those antlers, and then it had like what looked like a chopped off head of a masculine man.
Would you describe the breastplate as nice?
A solid D cup, yeah.
Okay. You said earlier that the monster was a bit of a puss.
It was.
Okay, think about it though. Someone takes a hatchet and just fucks you up right in the fucking skull. I mean, it cracks your skull open. You're gonna take a beat and go, well, fuck, I just got hatcheted in the fucking head. You know, there's a Cannibal Corpse song, Josh, called "Hatchet to the Head," and that I don't think it wasn't written about this film, because it was from over a decade ago, the song, but it plainly says "hatchet to the head." You know, hatchet.
Where are you going with this?
Nowhere. It's one of my favorite Cannibal Corpse songs. Good time to mention it. Hatchet to the head. Sorry. No, I don't think it... I wouldn't call that mythic beast of epic proportions a puss.
Well, I think it wasn't a puss, but it was like it had really strong ESP signal. Like it killed the woman because it somehow knew the woman had helped the man somehow. But then... it could not see very well, and it was like using the woman that it had killed to look around. It had plugged itself into her head, and was looking around with her eyes, looking for the man who had escaped. And he was stupid, and he shot at it. He could have run away right there.
Yeah.
And that beast wouldn't have known where he was. I think the light of the fire blinded it. I don't know.
Maybe.
I can cut the tape on that.
You can, yeah.
It had weaknesses. The beast had weaknesses that were clearly relevant.
No, it did. I'm not saying it didn't have weaknesses. I just wouldn't call it a punk ass bitch or anything.
Well, not to its face.
just because it stopped when you put a fucking hatchet in its skull. Golly.
Well, it was like taking people and throwing them into the trees and stabbing them and making them shish kebabs.
Well, because it's a badass beast monster creature thing.
Yeah.
But no, I liked the idea that it had the ability or the power to make you hallucinate.
What was your take on that when he was in there and he kept reliving the same scene where he was cowardly?
Guilt. The creature, and I think it had a name other than Jotun. I think it had, but I'm not sure. The creature was using his guilt against him, and he kept replaying it. He's in the middle of a forest, but he finds himself in a convenience store running through the forest. It's a cool bit, but that's my take on it. What is your take on it?
I kind of got the impression that the beast didn't even exist. Like it was a figment of his imagination.
No, it existed. It existed.
Okay.
I mean, or his friends in his imagination?
So that's what I was thinking, like all of them were imaginative.
No, I don't think it was going for that route. I mean, I know what you mean. There are films that do that.
I know. I'm glad that I didn't want to believe that because that would have made it a pointless movie for me.
Yeah, and plus it's such a cool monster. You want it to be
real.
Well, a monster movie, And I think it is. I definitely think it was definitely there.
Let's talk about how it relates to other films. On the wall here, you can't see this, but he has the Texas Chainsaw Massacre poster. And there were certain scenes that felt very reminiscent of the Chainsaw Massacre because they take them upstairs, and there are people there. They look dead, but then they're moving. That happened in that Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
And then they're eating the meat of humans. That happened.
The part you're talking about was pretty creepy with that mound of living cadavers, kind of.
Yeah.
I like that part. So I can see the comparison there.
It was like they almost stole that scene.
Nah.
But then they adapted it.
It wasn't exactly the same.
But it was clearly inspired, I feel, by that.
Yeah, it could have been, yeah. Because in Chainsaw, it's part of the family.
Yeah.
You got grandma and grandpa up there in the attic.
And those people were part of the cult. They were clearly like the deceased relatives of all the people who had been there before.
Right.
And they were considered hierarchy. I wish that we could have dove into the story of the dead corpse at the front, like the minister or whoever he was.
Well, there were a few, like, in the trees.
Were they dead?
Yeah. You didn't see the...
Oh, I saw them, but the people upstairs in the attic,
okay.
They were all still moving and alive in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean... Well, that's the thing about this film. If they wanted to, they could do a sequel, a prequel. There's a lot to explore here.
Yeah.
Which I like. They explain enough, I thought. But if they wanted to, they could dive back in. Or a different filmmaker could.
I don't see it being a trilogy.
It could be 2 movies.
It could be a trilogy.
Or a trilogy, okay.
But it would need to dive deeper into the realm of the Jotun.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. It was almost like a Viking beast in a way.
It was like,
Viking
I don't know how to
war.
explain it, but I wish we could like dive into the psychological mind frame of that beast, because I don't feel like it lived in a linear timeline for some reason. I feel like it had linear timeline traits to it, clearly, because it was in that timeline. But it seemed like it had deeper roots to different times, and it had long-form memory. And
Oh, you mean, okay, so you're saying that it was like centuries old?
oh, probably longer than that.
Yeah.
Thousands of years old. Maybe hundreds of thousands of years old. Maybe it wasn't even of any type of human concept. It was just like a spirit that
Maybe
took
from
over.
another dimension.
From a different dimension. That's what I mean. Somehow it was able to cross over into the Earth plane.
Nope, maybe it was from the shimmer from Annihilation. And
it would fit in there.
It crossed over.
It would fit
into
in Annihilation. It would be a clear, relevant
yeah.
beast figure to show up inside the shimmer.
He's right, it would.
So let's roll this on. If you were to rate this film, what would you give it?
Yeah, at first I wasn't really sure how I felt about it. I feel like I'm going to end up at a 3.5, and that's kind of a cop-out, because I feel like I gave everything a 3.5 on this show. But I like the fact that it was just a basic monster movie in 2018, 2017 is when it came out. I like that. You know, it's not trying to be current. It's not trying too hard to be trendy. There are no children ghosts.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing like that. There aren't really any jump scares. So I like that aspect of it. On the downside, it really does take a while to get going. I had to turn the subtitles on at one point because I was having a hard time understanding the characters, the accents, because, you know, it's one of those films where everyone talks low.
Yeah.
But overall, it's more good than it is bad, so I'm giving it a solid 3.5 Zadars.
Okay. I can't help but compare it to the other films that we watched recently.
Yeah.
And even without knowing the budget, I would be giving it a higher score than I gave Annihilation for the cinematography and for the quality of production. But after you told me that the film was made for $1 million,
Yeah.
I can't help but think that it's far above and beyond anything that the previous group, Annihilation, did. And I have to give it a 4.5. I gave Annihilation 4.25. I'm breaking my streak of 2.25s for you. For this film. And
You gave Annihilation a
4.25.
Okay.
And I'm giving The Ritual a
4.5.
I would have given it a higher score if the ending was more climactic. I felt like it was an anti-climax. He just kind of got out very easily while...
It wasn't that easy for him.
Bullshit. All he did was set the building on fire and they all started acting like...
No, I'm saying he lost his friends.
They were going to die anyways. They were all a bunch of pussies.
Okay.
It's true.
All right. Okay.
They all had their own reasons. And the only one that actually faced his own bullshit was our lead character, Mr. I don't know his name because I don't think they ever told it to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was
Luke? Let's call him Nigel.
Yes, Niles. Okay. Yeah, I did really like the effects for the creature. Man, the monster looked really good.
They showed a lot of it in broad daylight too.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between what happened in our previous film and what happened in The Ritual. A lot of money was spent not so much on high dollar actors or actresses, but it was actually spent on actual talent.
The film. It was spent
on the film.
On what you see in the film.
It was spent on the CG artists and
it was hard to spot the CGI with that creature. I know they used CG. They had to have. Mm-hmm. But it looked really good. A lot of it looked practical. If I were like you, a lesser individual, then I would go for, either... I would do 3.75. But I'm going to stick firm to my values. And I'm saying 3.5, almost a 4. That's what I'll say.
Okay, so if you did go 3.75, but you can't because of your values.
Because I'm a normal person, I don't rate on a scale of 1 to 20, okay? That's ridiculous, Josh.
0.25s are leverage points. That's how you show
you
affinity
idiot.
For a film.
You idiot. No, that 3.25 or 7, whatever the fuck. Okay, you want to know what it is, sir? Okay, 5 is 20, 4.75, 19, 18, 17. So you gave Annihilation a 17. That's what you gave it. That's stupid.
It was deserving of a 17, not an 18.
We need to wrap this up before blood is spilled.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your time today.
Okay. I gotta say something snappy. You know what? Let's do this. I know we're already 5 episodes in. I should have done this earlier. Come up with something for me to say at the end of each episode. We need something catchy, or I need something catchy. Because we don't have ideas. We don't have, clearly. We're morons. So if you have an idea for the end of the show, something snappy, like snap you later, snap, see, we have nothing. We're idiots. So, give us an idea.
The rub here, though, Dominic, is we have to get people to watch it to the end so that they know to give us an example.
Yeah, that's the trick. All right. Well, fuck you.